Greetings, I'm Dugout Man and welcome to my Grassroots to Glory save. This is the highlights package. As you will remember, last time we were here we played in this game, which was at Winsford, away from home. Winsford is a local derby. Lucky Lou got his third goal, I think it was, in 3 games. Ben Guy, Voltman scoring the goals, and yeah, it was a good result for us and I was really happy with it. So now we're going to run through the fixtures that have happened since then, right up until our next episode where we get to go head to head with New Mills, great rivals of ours again. So our next game was a home game in the FA Vase Trophy against Harefield, and to be honest, we were expected to win this one quite comfortably. And things got off to a great start in the 7th minute when Lucky Lou volleyed home for his second goal in as many games. Of course, we saw the first of what turned out to be 3 goals in 3 games against Winsford in the previous episode. But then in the 89th minute, I'm not even sure what his name is, Quabe, we'll go for Quabe, scores and takes it to penalties, which Vigenti slots home the first. White slots home for Harefield. Holroyd scores. Holroyd is no longer with us, I may point out. He was constantly moaning as Siddons pops in that goal, and I decided to get rid of him. Dan Maguire scores to make it 3-2. Craddock slots it home for Harefield. Anderson scored a winning penalty in the previous penalty shootout, but unfortunately missed today. Holder Spooner did not spooner it, so that left us with this goal needed, which Reiki duly obliges, but for some reason it's not going to show us the winning penalty again, and we lost 5-4 on penalties to Harefield, which was pretty disappointing, if I've got to be honest with you. Then we come to an away league match against Atherton. Sandbach are the team in white, and in the 40th minute, the first goal of the game comes via a penalty from Brogan. Pretty cool on the spot, so it was fully expected that he would slot that away. Voltman then breaks through on the left hand side, pulls it back to Lucky Lou, who makes, as I said at the start of the video, his 3rd goal in 3 games. And yeah, he was having an absolute stormer of a run, Lucky Lou, and yet again another win in the league. But something has got to give somewhere along the line. The form cannot continue forever, and here we are in our home match against Squiresgate, and things got off to a bad start when in the first 5 minutes Kay slots home the penalty to make it 1-0. In the second half, I'm thinking of calling Asafu Ajay by his 8A and call him something like Duracell or something like that, just because I can't remember him. But there we are, 1-1 with that goal, and Armstrong then heads home in the 91st minute to give us a home defeat, which we did not need and could not really afford. But there we go. So it was Max Voltman, by the way, who scored our only goal in the game. Then we come to our game against Skelmersdale at home again. Surely we can't stuff it up twice. Davidson picks it up on the right. Beautiful ball in, and Moonen comes from absolutely nowhere to head that home. And that is 1-0 in the first 3 minutes of the game. Then Brooks does well to win the ball. Brogan plays it downfield. Dan Smith picks it up, doing what Dan Smith does best, slots it home. That is 2-0 and we are cruising. We're moving to the second half now, and Molyneux with a corner kick which doesn't get dealt with properly, and Pugh slots it quite nicely into the corner. 2-1. And then minutes later, Brody, nice 1-2 with McKendy. First shot blocked, second shot, he was left with an easy goal really. And that is 2-2. And then things go from bad for worse with 10 minutes to go, a little over 10 minutes to go. Walker, McKendy, what a finish that was that time for McKendy. And all of a sudden, things have gone disastrously wrong. And we fortunately get a penalty, which Brogan again calmly slots away and saves us a point from a game where we could have lost against a team who was flying high in the league. And it's a little bit disappointing that we were unable to win that game. So then we come to our game against Barnoldswick. Surely we can't keep messing up these matches. And yet, just over half an hour in, a Knight gets to slot home a penalty, and we are looking like we're going to struggle again. And it takes us until the hour mark before we can even make an impact on the game. Volkman running onto the ball on the right hand side of the attack. Squares it into the middle where Ben Guy comes and slots home. And that is 1-1, but unfortunately that was the final action of the game. It was yet another defeat for us, and if we look at the match stats, it was a pretty even game, which is frustrating for us. We should have been dominating a team like Barnoldswick, but form has really dipped since that live game against Winsford, and it's beginning to look like that position at the top of the league is going to be a distant memory. Next we come to our match against Rylands. Now Rylands are notorious for beating us, so I was hoping that this time I could exact a little bit of revenge on them. I did even consider live comm the game, but after the embarrassment of last time, I didn't bother. But Dan Smith got us off to a 1-0 lead after 66 minutes, which I won't say a great start, but then another free kick that we've conceded from it. Over the course of the FM seasons that we've played, it's been frustrating how many times we conceded from free kicks. We were the better side, but Rylands did get a draw. And the Wes Brown that scored can't possibly be the real Wes Brown. Let's take a look at him. No, he's 18 years old. So Wes Brown scored for Rylands. It was a game where I thought we had it won, and then a minute from time, really disappointing. Yet again, another game without a win. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, we come up against Avro, playing in a grey, which presumably we couldn't see. A little bit of a Manchester United reference there. And Etches scores to make it 1-0. And then midway through the second half, Davis picks up the ball, gives it to Etches, who absolutely bamboozles the keeper by shooting from the edge of the area. And that is 2-0. Again, another match where we've failed to record a victory. So things are getting a little bit crazy out there. We're in such a bad run of form that I decided to drastically change the formation. Not through any other reason than a conversation on one of the Facebook chats with a guy who had set up a tactic very similar to this, and it was a strikerless formation. And Wilson scored a header after 10 minutes, which gave me a bit of hope for the formation itself. But then we conceded at the other end. And with this formation, we've conceded twice, and both times it's been stupid scrambles in the box. But then we moved Guy into a forward position for the last sort of like half hour of the game. And he picked up the ball on the wing here and just ran through and slotted it home to give us a 2-1 victory. And that was a result that we needed so desperately because our results have been so bad lately. It was just desperate. But just look it up for a formation. I remember somebody seeing something similar on Facebook and saying it just looked horrible, but we gave this one a go, and yeah, I think it worked okay. And so basically we've managed to play with strikerless and not actually lose. Quite unbelievable when you think how many good strikers we've got. So we come to the North West Counties League Cup against Tividale away from home, as we usually get in the cups in fairness. And we're playing a strikerless formation, but Dan Smith in the 24th minute is beautifully slotted in, and you know, he just loves those one-on-one with the keeper situations, Dan Smith, and he slots it home to give us the lead. Then it looked like the chance had gone in this particular highlight when all of a sudden the ball came back in, got to Vincenti, and he absolutely blasted it home from the edge of the area. That is 2-0, and at the time we were looking like we were cruising. Then 10 minutes into the second half, another free kick. We could have dealt with it several times but didn't, and it slotted home. I think it was Nix who scored it. Yes, it was Oscar Nix. But it was 2-1 victory nevertheless. We controlled possession reasonably well and we had plenty of shots, which, considering you got no striker, that was pretty impressive. But yeah, 2-1, another good result. And that brings us to the conclusion of our highlights. And as you can see, from the 3-0 against Winsford all the way down is absolute diabolical results. If we put the friendlies into view as well, it would look even worse because we lost every friendly that we played as well. They are against much better teams than us. Obviously, it's just money spinners. But things have gone from looking really good to looking really bad. This is where we stand in the league. Everybody's played 21 games around us. We are on level points with New Mills, who we play next, and against 1 point behind Longbridge, should I say, who played the same amount of games as us now. Both teams have a better goal difference than us. We have got to start finding that form that we had prior to the Winsford game, because we were in an incredible run of form. It has dropped off completely. Getting those 2 wins has made a difference. One of them was in the cup, obviously, to morale, which was beginning to slip quite drastically. But we've got to find that form again, and let's hope that in our next episode against New Mills, that will come. Just that last thing to say is that obviously I mentioned before that the striker Holdroyd, we got rid of him because he was moaning about his position in the team and he wouldn't back down on his demands. So rather than him intoxicate the rest of the squad, I decided just to release him and let him go. And hopefully now the rest of the squad can get on with things and remain happy. But let's hope for next time that we are able to pick up the form. I don't know whether we'll be playing that crazy formation. I think we'll probably be looking at playing one of the other formations against New Mills, because when we stay on a formation too long we tend to lose. So what I may do is just rotate it back to either the 4-4-2 or the 4-3-3, and we'll see where we go from there. But until then, I hope you've enjoyed this highlights package. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe, leave a comment, it'd be great to hear from you. I'll see you again soon. I'm Dugout Man, and I'm out of there.
What the hell was that formation?